Hello, good evening, welcome to another edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime. We are today going to dedicate this program to the fallen mayor of the Boya Council, Ekema Patrick Esunge, who died yesterday out here in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. We look at the man Ekema Patrick Esunge, who fought so hard against the ongoing ghost towns in the northwest and southwest regions for Boya. He has had a lot of hurdles at the level of his party, the ruling Cyprian party. He has had issues with the political elites of the southwest regions and a host of others. But he is a man who believed in what he believed in. He stood out amongst every other person in Faku to fight against the ongoing Anglophone against the ongoing pro-independence separatists. We are going to look at the man Ekema. We are going to look at him as a mayor and the legacy he leaves back as the mayor of Boya. We are discussing that with our panelists who are already in the house. Before Mr. George is in the house, he is an expert on issues of development. He is a coach also in that domain, but he is a resident Boya personality.
Born and bred.
Okay, born and bred from Boya, who knows Boya so well. He knows Ekema Patrick Esunge, reason why he is with us on this platform this evening. Good evening, welcome.
Thank you, and good evening to viewers of My Media Prime. I think you can even see that we are not in a very good mood, probably for those who believe in communicating through colors. My color already speak where I belong.
Okay. Now, you are I will call you a citizen of Boya. You were born in Boya. You have lived all your life in Boya. You got news of the demise of the mayor of Boya yesterday. Have you really come to terms to the fact that Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge is no more?
There's no gainsaying that it is not used after the incident of or the announcement that became formal yesterday that Boya is void of a titular mayor. That Ekema Patrick is now in the mortuary, which means he is dead, and that Ekema Patrick is now probably in the process of Boya people seeing him now as part of the history of the town. But what I want to say, KUM, is that these are the realities of life. That if all of us as humans, we have to die someday. And I just want to say that it came to happen that this time was Ekema Patrick's own turn. And we just have to look at the future by acting in the present, so that when we also transit someday, we will also leave our own traces for people to be talking about in whatever way they are saying. These are all commentaries.
Okay. We equally are in the company of Muhammadu Suleiman of the Social Democratic Front, Kumba 2 District. We are glad to have you all the way from Kumba.
Yeah. Hi to my panelists. Hi to our favorite listener outside there. We have converged again here to talk about some of the contentious issues affecting our country.
Mm-hmm. Especially those in Kumba.
Especially those in Kumba.
You have special greetings for some people out there? Special greetings for some people out there?
I have a lot of greetings for people.
Okay, you cannot name them.
Yes.
Yes, you are from Kumba, but at least Boya is mourning.
Yes.
When you got that news,
it was shocking and surprising when somebody called me from the United States and told me that in the night when I was sleeping that Ekema Patrick is dead. I said, wow, the Almighty has fallen.
Oh, you call him the Almighty?
Yeah, I said, Almighty has fallen. I say, what happened? He said, no, he just got the news that he has died. But anyway, Kwame Nkrumah said, he said, the most dangerous thing on earth is death. It comes to you like wonders and snatch away the soul. So I think Kema Patrick has lived his life, whether positive or negative, good or bad. Well, it's just that death took him prematurely, unprepared, but that was destiny, because what God has destined must prevail. So we have to accept it as the way it has come.
Okay, we have to accept it the way it has come. We equally are in the company of Lapana Mama Tasha. He's of the civil society. Good evening and welcome. And your first reactions to the demise of the fallen Boya mayor.
Good evening to all, and good evening to the viewer. I'm so grateful being here. When I received the news, it was in church, and then I never believed until I opened a Prime Media on WhatsApp before confirming that truly he has gone. It is so painful to lose a brother, and so I say may his soul rest in peace. It might be somehow God alone knows why, and then asking questions we will not have any answer. But everything is in the hands of God, and He knows why he has to go at this hour, and then only Him alone can explain. And then we might talk and talk, but the whole issue is that he has gone.
Okay, the whole issue is that he has gone. We are expecting Pastor Chris Euze, who's supposed to be part of this program this evening, equally a member of the CRM movement. We expect that they join us in the course of our discussions this evening. Many press organs described yesterday as a Black Sunday for Boya. Is that the same feeling you have?
Obviously, I mean, we keep aside the issues of emotions to state it clearly that if we were in the British system where they call them Lord Mayor, elected community or council leaders, it means that they are the titular head of state or head of council, and they have the sovereignty to make and unmake what goes on within that geographical space. But I think as an avid Christian, when death occurs, it should be a very, very sad event. And so we could, from that perspective, that death is something that comes along with sadness, conclude that it was a dark day in Boya. I don't want to also to be preposterous to say that the darkness was generalized, because truth be told, there were actually, I remember when I came out from church and my neighbor who did not come to church, when I was, he was asking me what happened in the church and all of that, and I told him that you are sitting here like this, your mayor is dead. He said, is that what they told you in the church? I'm telling you that the mayor is dead. That is what it should be of whatever you want to know, so that you should start asking yourself. And then the wife, who was not private to our communication, but she overheard me saying that when now inside her room, pick up her phone and call, what I should say, a colleague of hers who was in the market, to be precise, Munya Market, and then ask her, you don't hear that news? All of a sudden, she came back in the house, and while she was coming in, she was saying, "Now una the dance so, now una the shout so," and all of that. The woman was actually giving the impression that in the market there were some element of dancing and celebration. For whatever reason that the women were celebrating, that I cannot say, but I want to say that I happen to be staying also at Lower Farms. For those who know Boya, Lower Farms is very close to the council. And by midday, the council was already having some visitors, if I call them strange visitors, because they were already had the security reinforcements. I saw 3 pickups of the police in the council, and we already saw some people already coming in, some press, boys and girls, and in the presence of the Secretary General, who were there now receiving people who were inquiring to validate the information. But again, like I said, if you had passed close to the council, you would have seen every other person with folded arms, telling you that that was communicating some element of shock, because it was what people call untimely death. At least for those who were there, they said they had separated with the mayor late that Friday night, only to be told on Sunday morning that he is no more, after he had given them some assignments, especially in preparation for the 2020 council budget session that was to hold in the course of the month of November. So they couldn't have expected that he would not have lived to execute the budget for 2020. But again, this is all history now. Some other person will have to definitely execute the budget for Boya Council for 2020.
Okay, some other person will have to execute that budget. The median newspaper says mayor of Boya is dead. Is Fako CBDM. According to them, Fako CBDM is robbed of a great warrior. It's a big loss for the CBDM party, for Fako.
Yeah, I think I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, because Ekema party was full of controversy and inconsistencies when it comes to CPD and politics. Because even the barons of the party, the bosses of the party in the region, in Boya, he's at loggerheads with them, like Musonge, Ramadan Lifaka, Lambela Moki, and other people of the party that he is supposed to respect and honor them. He was at loggerhead with them. So he was so controversial that you see the discipline that I know the CPDM used to say they have discipline. It was the party discipline. It was inherent in Kema. Kema has disrespect for party people. He doesn't have respect for party, for the militant of the party. He was always seeing himself. He wanted to make himself the boss of the party in Fako division when he was not even the section president. He was not even a subsection president. So I begin to doubt how he could not respect people like Musonge, people like Madame Lifaka, Honorable Lifaka, people like Bela Moki. I mean, he was just he was full of himself. So if people say Fako, the CPDM has lost somebody, look, Ekema party was a liability to the CPDM than an asset when it comes to politics. So the CPDM said they know that at least his demise, his going away, has paved the way for a free and liberal party politicking in the CPDM when it comes to 2020 parliamentary.
Yeah, but he worked so hard to give CPDM at least a win in the last elections.
No, we don't want to go into intricacies of how this thing happened. There was a lot of manipulation. There was a lot of gymnastics that took place. You see, so and the bosses of the region, the administration, all came in support of him to make him he came from nowhere to become mayor. Nobody expected. He was the least among to be expected to be mayor of Boya. But from nowhere, he bounced back and sprang and became mayor. So, I mean, he has his own godfathers, political godfathers, who were behind him and who supported him. But if you go down, if you meet the downtrodden masses of the extreme party to ask them that, who do you even need as your mayor when Bella Moki became senator, they will have given him a different name.
Okay, they would have given us a different name. Mayor Ikema is no more. The people are mourning him. Some say, okay, he was a good person. Others say he was not good. But at least we are Africans. We should have respect for the dead.
Yeah, we have to have respect. That is why I started by saying, may his soul rest in peace. We have to have respect. I heard about all the celebration, all the jubilation on social media. But what I have to say is that he has gone. Whether we celebrate or we cry, the only thing now is he is waiting the judgment day. And he has struggled, put in his own effort. And then you cannot say, look at him totally and say there is nothing you can learn from him. There are a lot of things we can learn from him, because he demonstrated some kind of determination in which we can put in that kind of energy for something positive. Then in all our different domains, we will have something out of it. So I'm saying that naturally we are Africans, we have that habit, and then it's our nature to mourn those who have passed away. And then whether it is whether a Kema had done but what to you, the only thing is that we have to give him the last minute of respect. It should not be a celebration as if he was one of the most evil person in Boya. So I'm saying that we are Cameroonians, and we know that the life of a mad person is better than whatsoever we have here on earth. So if one person has gone, it is a place for us to look for that vacancies and put in some kind of sorrowful faces than celebrating, because celebrating will not bring anything. Celebrating will not bring somebody who is better than him. Celebrating would not maybe say a good time will stop, and then celebrating would not maybe say on Monday another person coming might not. It's still say, I want to fight that.
Okay, we caught up the last moment my Media Prime had with Mayor Ikema Patrick Esunge was when we went to Yaoundé for the major national dialogue. We caught up with him. Let's just listen once again to late Mayor Ikema Patrick Esunge speaking to my Media Prime.
I want to say that the deliberations were very enriching, promising, and very convivial. Though at the beginning on the Tuesday, there were some variances on issues on the form of government and issues on the system of governance. By Wednesday, we had gone out of that, and we moved on very smoothly. As a rapporteur in the decentralization committee, I want to say that as a rapporteur in that committee, I want to say that we did everything to ensure that the ideas and submissions presented by all the participants were taken into consideration, summarized or congested to come up with the resolutions which were presented at the plenary. So at the end of it all, if you want to make an analysis on the paper that was presented, there's an indication that Cameroonians all reason alike, but they take different routes to arrive at their destination. So that is what I want to say. And the head of state's clemency, even before the judicial committee could present their submission, amongst which they had the release of persons incarcerated. The head of state had taken action before they submitted at the plenary. It shows how focused, how fatherly, and how peaceful the head of state is. And my message to the population, especially my brothers and sisters in the northwest and southwest regions, is that those who are still hanging out there in the bushes should come out. We have been schooled on the need for peace, reconciliation, and forgiveness. So our hands are open, and we're willing to embrace all and sundry. For those of you who were at the plenary, it was by an acclamation what was said was summarized and presented, and that represented the minds of all and sundry. I can say it as an authority in the committee, as rapporteur of the committee. I insist that what was said by all was compressed to come up with the resolutions. And at the beginning, as I said, there were issues on federalism and issues of decentralization. But a good number of the participants opted for decentralization and special consideration to the Northwest and Southwest province regions, which meets with the aspirations of the people of this region. I want to say very proudly here that there wasn't any proposal or submission on the floor on issues of secession. People were unanimous on federalism and decentralization, but at the end of it all, we all settled on decentralization. All the same, whether you say decentralization, federation, they are all the same but different appellations. What we want is that what was said should be implemented. Well, the proposals we submitted are that the state should give a special attention, firstly, to provide means for reconstruction. Secondly, to lubricate the council services. You know, for over 3 years, some councils have not been able to collect a single tax. And so the state has to make up with some resources to catch up with this situation. And what the committee proposed, which has to be a permanent situation, is a permanent consideration, which has to be in a form of special subventions. Like you have the city councils of Douala and Yaoundé, which are on special category. The state cannot be disbursing funds to decentralized structures, and they don't have an observer to see how the money is spent. The regions we put in place as we requested, the state will certainly have somebody who ensures that the money is being used judiciously or for the purposes for which it is intended.
You think elected officials cannot do that?
Well, if you are elected, you are answerable to your electorate. You are not answerable to.
Okay, that was late Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunga talking there to the microphone of my Media Prime. That was during the major national dialogue that took place in Yaoundé. The mayor has had to fight many battles, but the Guardian Post says Biya loses right hand in Anglophone Cameroon fight.
You see, Leonard, we are talking here about a human being. Mm-hmm. First, a politician, and then a mayor. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy with the way you listed the man, his works, mm-hmm. and legacy. Mm-hmm. And you know, again, when you move away from the man to the politician, mm-hmm. you are not talking about a different personality. Yeah. Because the person that we just saw there now on that screen, you could see a politician actually, what he was saying was based on, I don't know whether it was out of conviction or it was just based on the fact that some other person who is his political mentor had given him the opportunity to come close to discussing his philosophy. Because don't forget, the major national dialogue was an initiative of the head of state. He defined the agenda, and he also chose who to attend. And you know, again, the condition was that everything that was to be discussed there was supposed to be within the Constitution. And so what he was just saying there, he was saying what had been agreed with the Unity Palace, that was what was going to be discussed, and also what was supposed to be promoted in front of the media. But again, going back that headline from the Guardian Post, mm-hmm. if I am saying that he was just being a good apostle of the head of state, so it means that that same logic will hold that probably must have lost a very committed and dedicated, what you would call henchman or right-hand person. Because come to think of it, the previous intervention, we would have heard one of us saying that Kema Patrick had disagreed with a lot of what we might consider or call them barons, political barons of his constituency. But then we will also recognize the fact that Kema Patrick will swear from morning to night on the name of the head of state, President Paul Biya. If he doesn't swear on the name of those his political persons who are closest to him, they will swear 24 on 24 on the name of Paul Biya, and we can therefore conclude that and align with the headline of the Guardian Post that the head of state must have lost a very committed henchman.
Okay, he has lost. Yes.
To me, to continue from what my colleague has said, I want to say that Kema Patrick was acting as if he was not elected but appointed. That was how he was acting. He was acting as if he was appointed and not elected. He was not even answerable to his Buya people. He was answerable to his godfathers in Yaoundé. He wasn't answerable to his Buya people at all.
Yeah, but was it particular with Kema Patrick Esunge? Because you may want to accuse Kema Patrick Esunge, but you must understand that he was a civilian party mayor, and most often everybody will tell you that we are towing party lines, which means that what is decided in Yaoundé is what we have to implement, because the councils are functioning based on the political manifestos on which the party was elected to pass.
Mr. Kuma, I disagree with you.
Okay.
What I'm saying here is this. Kema Patrick was democratically elected.
Yes.
He was not appointed. He was supposed to promote, protect, and defend the interests of Buya people.
Yes.
Was he doing that?
Your mayors in Kumba
the answer is definitely no.
The people of Kumba.
But they were not as brutal, as brute, very insulting, very rebuking. No, he was not like, they were not like that. Because you are supposed to promote, okay, what legacy has left behind? We only know him as a brute. We only know him as somebody who is castigating people, disrespectful. That's what we know him for. Even what Belamoki left behind for him to continue, he abandoned them. Look at the Bela Park. The Bela Park has been relegated to I don't know how to an adjective to describe it, because he doesn't care to even take care of the place. So, I mean...
Muhammad Sule, you live in Kumba. How do you talk of Buya as if you live in Buya?
Because I come to Buya on regular basis. I come to Buya on regular basis.
Why are you castigating?
No. What I say, look, let me tell you, Mr. Kumba.
Okay, yes.
Let me learn, please. You see, when this guy's death was announced, you see, people pour insults, people poured venoms, people were dancing, jubilating, fanfare everywhere. Over a dead corpse, somebody who is dead, then definitely something is wrong with that person. We have to say the truth. Something is wrong about that person. If people are jubilating and celebrating, there's something is wrong about that person. That person has a question mark to answer somewhere. And that's why we are saying that. We are saying that Kema Patrick, no matter how people see him, no matter how people look at him, he has his departure to some people is God's blessing.
Yeah, but you say to some people, because there are people who are...
A majority, of course. Because all over the Southwest region, even in Kumba, where I come from, people tell me that they were dancing, they were drinking their beer.
Yeah, but you know the type of persons who will celebrate and those who will not celebrate.
Yeah, just to contribute to the questions, whether the president had lost somebody, I would say yes. To have somebody like Kema Patrick working with you is not possible. That is what I started from the beginning. I say, if everybody is working to the master, is loyal to the master as he was, then all the enterprises or all the families will be perfect. And then we will say that Mbia will not stand and say, no, I have not, or I'm celebrating like others. He is regretting because he stood for him in all situations. And then he has demonstrated a lot of loyalty to him. And then talking about the people of Buya, I'm saying he also fought for them, because fighting to stop Ghost Town was for their advantage. It was not for the advantage of the president or for whosoever. He was struggling to stop Ghost Town. It was for the advantage of those in Buya.
Okay, it was for the advantage of...
Today, Boston was respected by 100% today.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it was respected. It was respected. I'm sure Ekema Patrick Iswinge, as a mayor, would never have wanted to see a dead municipality. But we have just been joined by Pastor Chris Ewuze, who is a man of God and a very fervent actor or some activist interested on issues of politics. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening to all the panelists.
Man of God, you came late. You were caught by traffic?
Caught by traffic. The traffic was very serious today.
That's Douala.
Especially from the Pong Bonabasem stretch to where it is at Eco Bank. It's very crowded.
Up to Santa Lucia.
Yes.
It's not been easy.
It's not been easy.
Man of God, we are bereaved. The people of Boya are very bereaved. Anglophones are bereaved. Cameroonians are bereaved. You got the shocking news of the demise of the mayor of Boya. You prayed for the repose of his soul. You prayed to the people to...
In fact, when we came out of service yesterday, that is the news that took us unaware, the social media. And when we did some verifications, we saw that what we were seeing on social media was right. And it's so sad that Mr. Ekema Patrick could go that way. You know, everything that has a beginning has an end. The Bible says it is the way of all the earth. And it comes with so many lessons to learn. That human beings are limited. They are not limitless like God. And when you are given a position to serve, don't be arrogant. Know that you have a lot of limitations and you will go one day. There is no reason to be proud. There's no reason to be arrogant. There's no reason not to have the interest of the people at heart when you are given a responsibility to perform in the community. I think, I came in, I heard one of the panelists saying he was talking of the fact that so many people are rejoicing. Actually, I've been so shocked to see the joy that has been on social media from morning till now. People jubilating, some drinking, some praying. Comedians have taken it also, and they are also putting one.
Yeah, but man of God, you should preach against that.
No, let me tell you, it is the Bible.
Okay.
If you see people rejoicing over the death of somebody, verify very well. You see that the person is either a witch, wizard, or a wicked person. Because the Bible says, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. And when the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. There is no man who served his generation, impacted lives positively, who will go and others are rejoicing. People can be rejoicing dotted here and there, but it shouldn't be the whole community or the whole put in municipality, because in fact those who are living in Boya can testify of the ambience that is reigning in Boya.
That's the Boya man sitting beside you. I'm not sure whether he'll buy 100% what you're saying.
It depends. You know, many of Cameroonians don't speak the truth because of partisan politics.
No, he's not a politician.
He's not a politician, but that's what I'm saying. That many Cameroonians have not said he is a politician. Have not pointed an accusing finger on him. I'm simply saying that many Cameroonians are not very objective because of partisan politics. We see A and call it B because we don't want to offend our hierarchy in the party. But I'm speaking from an objective point of view because I have nothing to lose or to gain as far as this is concerned. From my view on social media, I've discovered that many people are rejoicing over the death of Mayor Ekema. And I think it's a lesson to all those who are still alive to make sure that whatever has been given as responsibility for them to perform towards humanity, they should do it objectively, do it justly, do it honestly, so that one day, because the greatest thing that we need to know is, if you go tomorrow, what will be said about you? What have you been able to create as impact in your community? It is said that if you live and you didn't create impact, then you did not live, you only existed. So it is important that those who are alive should be able to ask questions. How much impact am I causing in this community? how much good am I doing in this community? I think that's the most important thing people should be reflecting on. If you are given responsibility, don't allow arrogance to destroy that humanity that each and every one of us is supposed to have.
Yeah, irrespective of what you have said, let me just read a tribute that was written by Eyol Mbela. Eyol Mbela is the Director of Cabinet at the Boya Council. He writes, "Boss, you were a brave man. You came, you saw, and you conquered. Boya and the entire nation will never forget you. My heart bleeds for you. May God Almighty grant you eternal rest." To say that there are people who are mourning the mayor, but let me say some televiewers who are writing, please, if you send any message that is not good, I won't read it. Let me tell you beforehand. Good evening to you all in the studio. There is a school of thought which says that whatever goes around must come down. This simply means that no matter how cruel you are, your neck can never grow above the head. You were not chosen to be born, nor shall you be chosen to die. But don't die like a fowl. Okay, Ndaso Stanley Fonvi, writing from Besa. I wish to greet my mom and my girlfriend Gillian Ngefo. Thanks. Okay, thank you very much. You writing from Besa. I hope your mother got that message. This one says, God love Ikema. He was mayor on the wall. God love Ikema. He was mayor in the world. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that, but say you think God loves him. Let's call a spade a spade. When the president Abacha was asked by the population to release the former Nigerian presidential candidate, he refused, and 6 months later, Abacha died. When Cardinal Tumi wanted to hold, okay, I don't know who this is. This is Ngong Ernest writing from Kumba. Stop calling. We cannot take a call. We can only read your message. Write the message, we'll read them. Why is Mr. Sule so hard on the late Mayor Ikema? Do they have a personal score to settle? Ndip is writing from Kumba. I asked myself that same question, Ndip. Thank God you also feel like me. This one says, I am Yembe Ndi. The matter is that he is dead. One thing we should understand is that when you are elected as a councillor, you are automatically qualified to be a mayor. Okay? This is D. Julius, who is writing from Ndu, that is in the northwest, Grace B. Nalua. As an IDP with my parents in the bush, my brother killed in this senseless war. Please stop calling. We cannot take a call. I work farms, work as house cook, gather money, buy a kiosk only for, okay, Grace B.
Don't you think that
good evening to you?
Biased by not reading those comments.
Good evening, sir. I'm Tim Derrick. A dog that does not respect his master has to be eaten. Okay, it's not being biased. I need to be responsible. We are a television that is very responsible. There is no way we are going to be insultive on this panel. If you write any message that is insultive to the man of God, I won't read it. If it's insultive to Mr. Lapana, I will not read it. But if it's insultive to me, the host, I will read it, and then I talk to you. Please, we don't insult people here. Good evening, dear panelists. Ikema Patrick is gone, but we should know that the help for schools to go on in Boya, unlike in Kumba and some other towns. Sama John, writing from Kumba, okay, that he worked to get schools to move on. Good evening to you all in the studio. I'm Sonny from Boya. Mayor Ikema was a courageous man who braved the odds and did the impossible. Now he is dead. All we have to say is that the family he left behind should stay peaceful because death is inevitable. We all have to die one day. Today is his own. Who knows tomorrow? Okay? Thank you for that message. The world is like a stage. What good legacy did he leave as mayor of Boya? Luis is writing from Boya. Stop calling, please. We cannot take a call. Greetings to you in the studio. After the first attack in Douala last year at the hotel, he mentioned it clearly that there are some CPDM elites from Boya that wants to murder him. We are going to be discussing that after the news. Good evening to everyone in the studio. Let him rest. He has worked more than his strength. May God have it mercy upon his soul. Madeline is writing from Likumba. Mr. KUM, this is Mr. Takang writing from Cameroon Street, Kumba. Ikema died so young because he has been, the thing that he has been deceived by some CPD barons. Okay. Greetings to all there in the studio. I really love the program where the mayor is dead. I don't see anything wrong in it. They should look the way forward, but I think that without Ikema Patrick, the council will still move smoothly. Princely Asong writing from Muteng, and I say keep up with the good works, okay? Ikema, may your soul rest in peace, okay? The struggle continues. Sunshine Ibrahim is writing from Bamenda. God is the only one who have the final say. Today is Ikema, tomorrow will be you and me. Don't act as a judge. From HM in Kumba, we move over to the newsroom to follow what stories have made headlines across the nation with Metuge Stanley Ngalame.
Agriculture is the backbone of African countries. Do you want to be numbered amongst the best agricultural actors in your community, region and country? We got it all worked out for you. Come discover the easy way through. Tex Global is the magical place. At Tex Global, we provide free agri-consulting services, teach on improved agricultural techniques, direct on access to fertilizers and other agricultural inputs, provide routine financial training, business and personal development, exposure to new markets for all members, linkage and payment of trips to local and international agricultural training seminars, and a guaranteed monthly residual income for all members. We train in agriculture at many levels, and we are located at Moki Garage Great Support Boya, Sonak Street, Kumba, beside Ngasa Supermarket, Carrefour Hitek Yaounde, 29 Oyo Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. For calls, dial 671-731827. Consult with Tex Global and make all the difference in the world of agriculture.
Being one of more than 200 majors of HIPMAT, I am proud of my success. It all began at HIPMAT.
I am a CEO. I coach and lead a team of salespeople. I don't hesitate to tell them the vision was planted and molded by HIPMAT.
Today, I stand on a pedestal of experienced and committed lecturers. The foundation was laid by HIPMAT.
For over a decade, HIPMAT's credibility and ministerial recognition have trained more than 15,000 professionals in business management and engineering from HND to BTech, MBA, and what have you. With an outstanding partnership with the University of Bamenda for BTech and MBA programs, our undoubted commitment to your show's success is a reflection of the future you painted. The Higher Institute of Business Management and Technology, HIPMAT, a university for professionals.
HIPS, Higher Institute of Professional Studies, is offering a platform for zealous young persons to procure an education of reputable standards to fit into today's competitive job market. With effective bilingual education and 22 years of experience, Access HIPS offers HND, bachelor and master's programs in management, legal affairs, shipping, logistics and transport management, accountancy, and a lot more. Admissions are currently going on, and you can contact the numbers 652-971-020 or 679-441-072. Access HIPS, creating and molding professionals for quality jobs.
Good evening and welcome to the 7:45 Primetime Newscast live on My Media Prime Television. On our lone headline, Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge, Mayor of the city of Buea, has left the stage at the age of 46. Denizens of Buea will be reacting in tonight's newscast. Once again, you're welcome. That was a lone headline. I am Mituga Stanley La Ngalame. The news. As you heard, on a lone headline, the city of Buea is still to recover from the shock after the demise of their Lord Mayor, Ekema Patrick Esunge, who died yesterday in a hospital in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. According to family sources, he died after suffering from a malaise. Our Buea-based correspondent, Ikomi Christinuela, files in.
Sunday, October 27, 2019, a black one for the inhabitants of Buea subdivision, following the demise of the Lord Mayor of the Buea Council, Ekema Patrick Esunge, who died in the nation's economic capital, Douala. According to reports from family members, Nyamoto Patolo I, the Great Warrior as he was fondly called, died after he suffered a cardiac arrest. Mayor Ekema Patrick's sudden departure to the land of no return took everyone by surprise, including his family, friends, administrators, comrades, and close collaborators in the ruling CPDM party. The remains of Mayor Ekema, as at press hour, have been deposited at the Douala mortuary. A family member confided to My Media Prime that the mayor was in the right state of mind and in good health before his departure to Douala in the wee hours of Sunday morning. The late Mayor Ekema's residence at Checkpoint Moliko Buea, seconds after the news of his demise, was that of sorrow and mourning, as many could not still believe and come to terms with what had happened. The late Ekema Patrick Esunge, in his 40s, was known for his fight against separationists, especially in his efforts to put an end to the ghost towns in his municipality. Leaving a vacuum in the hearts of many, late Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge leaves behind a wife, children, his mother, relatives, friends, and loved ones to mourn him. May the soul of the fallen hero and all faithful departed rest in peace.
Ikomi Christinuela Eposi, ending that report from Buea. Thank you so much, and indeed, may his soul rest in peace. Officials in charge of the government humanitarian assistance plan in the Northwest region say that they have put in place a mechanism to ensure that only internally displaced persons concerned benefit from such gesture. The some 400 IDPs received the largesse of the government recently in Bamenda, as Charles Kibwa tells us more in the following report.
100 families of internally displaced persons have benefited from government humanitarian assistance plan in Bamenda, 25th October 2019 at the Northwest Governor's Esplanade. Officials in charge of the operation say they've put in place a mechanism for ensuring that the food and supplies are given only to people from areas affected by the ongoing crisis.
Today we have served over 400 families. That is actually over 2,000 people if you look into it. And in every distribution we make sure everyone is registered. So we don't pick anyone we just pick you. No, you come and you register and you're duly registered, and we have a database where we keep our internally displaced persons, and on this database we know when you have received the distribution and we know when we have programmed you for a distribution. So the humanitarian assistance plan has a center in the Northwest, in Bamenda, has a center in Buea. It is open from Mondays to Fridays. Anyone who is internally displaced and who fits the criteria of internally displaced place, which is someone who has been impacted by the Anglophone crisis in their area and unfortunately due to the insecurity had to relocate to another area.
The STO for Mesam Simo Emil Mu, who supervised the process of handing the humanitarian aid, appealed to the IDPs to collaborate in the conflict that has forced them flee their home.
But we're still appealing to all of you where on a day you say, when I tell when I brought away the day for Bush, say that time for Bush, you don't pass. After national dialogue, it be passed for Yaoundé. Time they don't reach now, say, we be reconciled among ourselves, all Cameroonian, because within a one country, one state. Say war, be fine. That thing must stop. So now our brother where they there for Bush, tell them say they come up for Bush, they come, they don't say talk, say they not get fear. They not go do them nothing. They come with their guns and they are doing their local business as usual.
They received blankets, soap, rice, buckets, tins of sardine, oil, sugar, and a cash of 10,000 francs.
Even though we don't do it good, but it's not good at all because they think the way they don't gam, not be the solution for the problem for the country.
Those who did not receive were called to go register.
La journée mondiale de la conservation du patrimoine audiovisuel est déroulée hier. C'était une occasion de discuter les différents moyens à mettre en place pour une meilleure conservation des archives et réduire la perte de contenu. Anne Marincom nous en dit plus dans ses reportages.
La perte des documents audiovisuels est récurrente dans le monde des médias. C'est un sentiment de déception et chacun a sa petite histoire à raconter.
Il faut déjà dire que ça dépend du fichier et pour le journaliste que je suis, moi par exemple, pour la petite histoire, j'ai une machine qui a 2 disques durs. Aujourd'hui, ces 2 disques durs sont plats. Et s'il y a une chose que j'ai souvent redoutée, c'est de perdre tous ces éléments. Je dis même le petit fichier de 2 mégaoctets, j'ai peur de le perdre. Pourquoi? Parce que chaque fichier que tu as dans ta machine est une histoire. Chaque fichier représente un projet. Donc, il faut donc aller voir l'importance de ce fichier.
The feeling is a very bad feeling because it has happened to me personally. I had a series that I was about shooting. I had to start doing pre-production, you see. And on going to the cyber cafe to print one of my documents, it was in my hard drive. That's a mistake I made. I never stored it anywhere else. So at the hard drive, it fell. My hard drive fell, and till date I've not been able to recover that.
Face au risque de perte de documents audiovisuels, l'Organisation des Nations Unies pour l'éducation, la science et la culture a adopté une recommandation portant sur la sauvegarde et la conservation des images en mouvement. Pour ce, il y a des aspects à prendre en compte.
The things we need to take into consideration while saving archives in audiovisual. First of all, we need to have a large capacity space, which is be it an external hard drive or a server. And since we have to be saving for a very long period of time, it has to be a server with a very large capacity, let's say, why not 24 terabytes, depending on how large the production is.
Il faut donc éviter d'éventuelles mésaventures, trouver la méthode efficace pour sauvegarder ces fichiers. Le journaliste a sa petite idée.
On a créé un disque dur externe avec une capacité de contenant, ce qui ne dit pas son nom. Aujourd'hui, on quitte du giga pour le téra, carrément.
Pour en savoir plus, nous avons posé la question au responsable de la sauvegarde des archives de My Media Prime.
The procedure of saving archives or elements, it's very simple. I mean, with the help of the computer, it's very simple. It's just copying from a hard drive or copying from a camera into a hard drive and then transporting from a hard drive into the server where everything will be kept.
L'importance culturelle et historique des archives cinématographiques et télévisuelles sont sans rappel. Il est donc très important de préserver et promouvoir ce patrimoine afin de le rendre disponible et accessible aux générations futures.
Thank you so much, Anne Marincom. The new divisional officer for Yomojog has been challenged to maintain peace or restore peace in his subdivision. The call was made recently by the senior divisional officer for Manu during the installation of the new DO for a Yomojog subdivision. Tamfo Sidwan Dimbie was in Yomojog and now files in.
Yonkuma Nelson Kamsi is the new divisional officer of Eyomojog subdivision, Manu division of the Southwest region. He was commissioned into office on Friday, 25th October 2019 by the divisional officer of Manu division, Omde Joseph. He was asked to work hard to ensure effective back to school, stop ghost towns, and call on armed separatists to lay down arms and embrace peace. The mayor of the council, KUM Julius Mbok, on his part, welcomed the new divisional officer, pledging to assist him in his duty by giving the necessary collaboration. The population, traditional and religious authorities present at the Eyomojog grandstand were called to support the new administrator in the dispatch of his activities in the entire subdivision. Yonkuma Nelson Kamsi takes over from Mr. Alain Moloka Ekwe. It should be noted that the subdivision was officially created in 1977 by a presidential decree number 77/366 of 09/09/1977 with a surface area of about 3,442 kilometers square and a population which has grown up to about 80,000 inhabitants. There are 66 villages with 3 principal ethnic groups that make up the council area, which are the Central Ejakam, the Ikwe, and the Oban clan. Yonkuma Nelson Kamsi is charged with a heavy task to bring peace in his subdivision.
Some Cameroonians from different walks of life converged in Douala over the weekend to share their experiences in a bid to bring back the old African tradition of telling stories by the fireside, amongst others. Tata Faith was among the people who sat together over the weekend and tells us more in the following report.
Hoverance Connect has launched its maiden edition, an initiative which is born out of the need to share real-life stories with real people, establishing a connection that enables persons to see themselves in the stories of others and hence draw inspiration to carry on with their ventures.
Telling our stories and the stories that we hear has been something that has made us who we are. The stories that we hear right from childhood and the stories that we tell people about ourselves through our acts, because gestures speak as well, are the things that people retain about us. And those are the things that are our brand or our brand promise. And that's the story that is attached to our brand as persons. And I think events like the Hoverings Connect enable us to connect with other people and to know the people, the story behind the people that we know already.
Personally, what motivated me to get involved in an event like this is as a result of my life and the challenges that I went through. Almost everything that I have been able to learn today is as a result of stories that are listened from other people. So it built me up. It gave me the confidence. It gave me that ability to develop myself and start. But of course, one thing about storytelling is you do not just, listen to somebody's story and then you say, okay, this person did this, I am going to do it. What you do is to listen to it and then you contextualize it, you bring it to your reality.
Mme LCD Poco, keynote speaker at the event.
Le financement, je n'ai pas eu, donc je me suis contentée de grandir petit à petit.
Shared her journey through falling in love with culinary activities, the travels therein, and finally establishing a restaurant of her own.
When you tell your story, it will help others to live their passion, to live their life the way they want to live it. De cet événement, j'ai appris à parler de moi, parce que je ne savais pas parler de moi en public. Mais surtout, j'ai appris à partager une histoire avec les autres, ça pourrait les aider.
The event, which rallied persons from various walks of life, also featured a question and answer session, coaching, and a feel of some good music. The rendezvous.
Thanks so much, Faith Tata. You are watching the 7:45 Primetime Newscast coming to you live on My Media Prime Television. We are beaming from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. La ville de Douala compte de plus en plus des salons les salons de haut standing. Si tout le monde semble s'intéresser à cette activité, on s'interroge sur les raisons et les motivations de tels investissements. Charles Fisselangue nous en dit plus dans cet reportage.
Il est de plus en plus rare de faire un pas dans la ville de Douala sans apercevoir un salon de haut standing appelé ici salon VIP. Si la floraison subite de cette activité qui nécessite un énorme capital suscite des interrogations, il n'en demeure pas moins vrai que chaque quartier a désormais son salon de coiffure VIP. On est un peu loin de cette époque où il fallait appartenir à la classe élite pour y accéder, même si les prix ne sont pas toujours à la portée de toutes les bourses.
À côté de chez moi, il me coiffe depuis 20 ans. Je n'ai aucun problème avec lui, je reste là-bas. S'il devient VIP, je peux toujours rester et évoluer en VIP chez lui.
Salon VIP, ne veut pas dire qu'on coiffe bien là-bas. On peut bien coiffer là-bas au salon VIP, on peut bien coiffer au salon classique. Donc, je n'ai pas où je peux me coiffer normalement.
Du moins, ne va pas au salon VIP qui veut, mais certainement qui peut. Mais aussi, on ne se lève pas un matin pour en avoir un. Pérez Bavois a 24 ans. Il est diplômé en management et comptabilité à l'université catholique. Depuis quelques semaines, il vient de lancer son 3e business dans la ville de Douala, qui est cet institut de beauté de haut standing, ici au quartier Bédi. Si ces installations peuvent donner du tournis, pour lui, sa vision reste son principal objectif.
Vous savez, en Afrique, plus particulièrement au Cameroun, à Douala, nous sommes dans un monde où l'institut de beauté est en train de prendre une très grande ampleur. Alors je participe à la révolution de l'institut de beauté. Donc, de prime abord, ma plus grande motivation pour ouvrir cet institut de beauté a été la prise en charge complète de l'être humain.
Madame Ken, quant à elle, a fait des études de droit, mais a choisi de se perfectionner en esthétique dans une école française. Voilà déjà près d'une vingtaine d'années qu'elle est promotrice de l'Institut Patchouli, dont les installations aussi peuvent laisser de marbre, mais qui n'empêche pas la concurrence de faire sa diva. Une chose d'ailleurs qui ferait partie des problèmes que rencontre ce secteur d'activité au Cameroun.
Le corps de métier n'est pas bien structuré et il y a de l'anarchie dans les prestations des soins esthétiques. D'où la concurrence déloyale. Nous avons des femmes qui se placent au bord des rues, dans les marchés, pour faire les soins que nous faisons aussi dans des instituts. Et curieusement, il y a des femmes qui garent leur voiture et vont se placer sous le soleil pour se faire poser les ongles.
On comprendra donc que tout le monde veut accéder au bien-être, mais il va selon le volume de sa poche et pour les promoteurs qui ont fait d'énormes capitaux, un retour à l'investissement est souhaité.
Let's now take it back to Kumba, Meme Division, southwest region of Cameroon, when a man has lost his life after he was knocked down by a heavy-duty truck. According to our reporter, Tamfo Sidoan Dimbie, the cause of the accident was as a result of overspeeding on the part of the heavy-duty truck. His report up next.
11 a.m. Kumba, Cameroon, Sunday, October 27, 2019. This unfortunate man of about 45 years is killed in this accident at the Town Green neighborhood. He was on board a motorbike but was removed from it by the truck, which was on top speed, attempting to overtake the bike. Both the rider and the passenger were swept off, but the tire of the truck rolled on this victim, crushing his head, leaving him lifeless at the spot. The rider was taken to the hospital under a severe condition. Meanwhile, the amateur truck driver has been detained by forces of law and order. The victim's identity was unknown at press time, but the corpse is at the mortuary of the Kumba District Hospital. This is just one of the numerous accidents recorded due to overspeeding and poor mastery of road signs.
20 couples of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, Tamulong congregation, have been challenged to entrust their union in the hands of the Lord. Reverend Ngwa Hosea Ambe, Presbyterian Secretary for Mezam and Parish Pastor of PCC in Tamulong congregation, made the clarion call recently during a mass wedding that he chaired in his congregation. Once again, Charles Kebwa tells us more from Bamenda.
It was at the Presbyterian Church in Tamlung, seat of the Mezam Presbytery, that some 20 couples solemnized their marriage, first of its kind since the creation of the presbytery. Christians jammed the church to witness the mass wedding that took place Sunday 27 October 2019, officiated by the Presbyterian secretary for Mezam, who doubles as parish pastor Reverend Ngwa Hosia, who challenged the new couples to entrust their union in the Lord.
From the Christian point of view, it's a blessing to have marriage solemnized and seek God's blessing as the marriage life continues. From the social part of it and legal part of it, a marriage is a contract. And so, before we solemnize a marriage in church, we also encourage the couple to legalize marriage so that it is binding, both legally and spiritually.
The chairperson, Elder Nana Anastasia, brain behind the organization.
Like you heard me said in church, and as the pastor said, they have come to God to make their promises. It's not to anybody, it's not to the pastor, it's not to me. And their gift from the congregation is the church's marriage certificate, which has a lot of, passages for husband and wife to read, to meditate on when they have their differences.
It should be noted the church facilitated the process of obtaining a marriage certificate for the couples, as the mayor of Bamenda too was invited to the church premises and facilitated exercise.
Thank God for this day, and then to thank the congregation of Peace in Tamulung. Yes, that this initiative that they have taken, I'm very happy. I want to thank especially the section of Peace in Tamulung.
Other couples were called to take the opportunity and bless their union.
On to health, sudden infant death syndrome, an illness that kills children below 1 year old, has come under the spotlight. An awareness campaign to educate parents and baby caregivers about the syndrome in a bid to reduce it took place recently, especially in the month of October. Our health reporter Bokengo Worthing Kemia with details.
Sudden infant death syndrome is the death of a child mostly under 1 year old, usually while the baby is asleep. Being a parent's worst fear, the situation peaks between 2 to 4 months of age, with approximately 60% of its victims being boys, as they are more easily awakened from sleep. Observed annually every month of October, sudden death syndrome awareness is aimed at better informing and educating parents and caregivers to take all the right steps to hopefully reduce the risks of these tragic losses. With a 35.4 deaths per 100,000 births and a 4.1 million deaths annually, SIDS is the major cause of death in infants between 1 month and 1 year old. While the cause of SIDS is unknown, many clinicians and researchers believe that the syndrome is associated with problems in the ability of a baby to awaken from sleep, low levels of oxygen, a build-up in carbon dioxide in the blood, especially when the baby sleeps face down, sleeping on the sofa with a baby, excessive smoking and drinking during pregnancy, which can lead to brain abnormalities or defects. Being without a cause makes prevention to sudden infant death syndrome difficult. However, health specialists and pediatrics suggest that parents should avoid pillows and toys in baby's crib, make sure baby sleeps on their backs than stomachs, stay clear of smoking around baby, and avoid sleeping on the same bed with infant, as all these can increase the risk of sudden infant death syndrome by 50 times.
Thanks so much, our health reporter Bokengo Worthing Kemia, and we hope that the advice you gave right there has been taken note of. That report by Bokengo brings us to the end of tonight's newscast live on My Media Prime Television. Once again, our lone headline: the population of Buea is still to come to terms with the death of the mayor of the municipality, Ekema Patrick Esunge, who died at the age of 46. He died recently in a hospital in Douala. We brought to you the reactions of the denizens of Buea in tonight's newscast. The news was produced by Lasha Kinsley and Ewane Nolinga Eli. I am Metuga Stanley La Ngalame, signing out from Douala, Cameroon, and wishing you all a blessed night. KUM LEONARD is coming up next with Prime Hour Part 2. Until tomorrow, God bless Cameroon.
Seeking a career in agriculture? Consider St. Louis Higher Institute of Agriculture, where students can build their interest in various farming systems by tailoring their study of agriculture to production, processing, and marketing agribusinesses, making them job providers and not seekers. St. Louis Higher Institute of Agriculture offers relevant practical education developed and delivered by experts and teachers who believe in teaching by demonstration. St. Louis Complex also offers through its Higher Institute of Medical Studies professional HND in nursing, midwifery, physiotherapy, pharmacy technology, medical lab sciences, dental therapy, radiology, and ultrasonography. We are located at Bonaberin Double opposite Nestle. Contact us on 678-435-138 or 677-764-674.
Welcome back. You're watching Prime Hour on My Media Prime out here in our studios at Fengudron Bange in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. We this day are dedicating the program to the fallen mayor of Boya, late Kema Patrick Esunge, who died yesterday out here in Douala. We look at him as the man, the mayor, and what legacy he leaves back for the people of Boya, his municipality. I get to you more for Mr. George to say that the Guardian Post newspaper says he is a man who fought deadly battles till his last breath.
Of course, I just made mention of the fact that up to Friday night, he was still in the office and working on the upcoming budgetary session for 2020. That was to hold sometimes in November. But talking about what you call deadly battles, I think it is no news that the two regions of Cameroon, Southwest and Northwest, they are facing serious what you call armed struggle. And if we want to be true to ourselves, we will know that the target of that military struggle is to set up a headquarters in Boya by one of the protagonists. I'm making mention here of the proponent of Ambazonia. And I think even the authorities of Yaoundé, they are aware of that. And so it gave also some type of free hand on the mayor to actually go out of the what you consider, you call in some civilized environment, the legal path to really play the role of a benevolent dictator, whereby he would definitely ensure that everyone toes the line. I'm sure you must have also been one of, I don't want to say a victim of some of those outbursts sometimes when there was this group of journalists that had an event in Boya whereby you could really see the real animalistic part of the mayor that came out during that day, when even his titular, somebody whom I consider his administrative head, the Dio, could not stand him because he had to ask him to keep quiet, that he is in charge. And in charge he was, because if we go by some of the reports that some of you were even taking, I don't want to say hostage, but some people were actually deprived of their freedom to move freely, with some of the working tools taken away. But that was now the real mayor, probably not the husband of someone, but the real man who was doing everything to ensure that his town was safe. And unfortunately, like I said, we cannot attribute the actions of a mayor, probably, which is that of, you could call it a drama, which was temporal. At that point in time, he had a role which had been assigned to him by, if you go and look at some of the attributes of a mayor, to ensure peace, to ensure all of those things. But then his high-handedness, the way he handled some of those instances, I think it also, I always tell people that there are two extremes that which are not good. We have extremists on one side, have conservatives on the other side. You can only get a clash. But in this particular case, I'm sure even the people who were also on the street, I think then you guys were talking something about peace movement and the rest, and he came out and said you guys were not supposed to do that, even though you guys showed the authorization given to you by the DO. He had to brush that aside and said he was in charge.
Yeah, but I don't think that was the deadly battle we are talking about. You raised the issue of Ambazonia, where he stood against the secessionists. That one is no news to anybody. But to say that even within the ruling CPDM party, it was not easy for him.
Yeah, what I want to say here is this. I want to take myself back to my secondary school days in PSS Kumba.
Okay.
When I read the novel Julius Caesar. Mm-hmm. When Caesar was killed by Casca, Cassius, and Brutus, Mark Antony addressed the commoners, and he made one statement. I don't want to go into detail. He said, ambition is made of sterner stuff. And that was what killed Kema Patrick. He was too ambitious. He was very fast. He was going very fast, swift, and sudden. He wanted the government to compensate him in all what he was doing. And that was selfish. He was doing it out of his own selfishness.
Yeah, but is that what killed him?
Yeah, it was
There's
ambition.
No proof.
It was ambition. Because he wanted to be appointed the government delegate of Limbe City Council. He did not get that one. He wanted appointment as a minister. He did not get that one.
Boya, not Limbe.
That City Council of Limbe. He wanted to appoint the government delegate of City Council of Limbe, not Boya, Limbe, Fako Division. Then he wanted again to become a minister. All this was not given to him. So all what he was giving, he was galvanizing his base politically, so that that enormous trust and confidence from the government should be given to him, so that he can reap something out of what he has been doing. But unfortunately, up to his unfortunate death, he has not got what he wanted. So I think ambition was one of the cardinal principles of late Ekema Patrick. He was too ambitious.
Yeah, but he got many fights in the party.
Yeah, that was why you see he was fighting barons of the party who are standing his ways, like Musonge, like Madani Faka, like Mbela Mukichas, and the rest. Because these are people who were standing his face, standing against him in the party. So he wanted to use if like what Mr. Mufo just said now, if he can shout at the Jew, though you know the enormous power he has got for himself because of all what he has been doing. You can shout a civil administrator, you a mayor, and you go scot-free, even not because of the enormous powers he has got from the powers that be, that you can shout the mayor. Impossible. You can't shout the mayor. So you can see some of the things that actually push this guy to the wall.
Okay, you were talking of him shouting at people, but why don't you also consider that he was fighting about the old regime, the old guy that would not want to give way to the younger generation?
What are you talking about, Mr. KUM?
He's a young. Yeah.
If you look at the structure of administration in this country, everybody's an old man.
Yeah, so he wanted to impose himself as a young person. Power is never given. Power is seized. Is that not what we say?
And this
you wanted Ekema to sit, Ekema to sit and then believe that the youths are the future.
You are telling, look at the Senate President, look at the Speaker of the House, look at the
he wanted to change that trend.
The entire structure, administrative structure is comprised of old people, and he cannot alone undo it. He cannot undo it. It's double impossible. All he has to do, he only make his noise and ends there. And he creating a lot of enemy for himself, antagonists surrounding him, planning bad things against him. Not knowing that he thought he's a power broker. But at the end, Nemesis caught him.
Okay, let me get this another homage. I've read one homage from the Director of Cabinet at the Mayor's office, Eyole Bela. This one from another militant of the CPDM party. Her name is Sabina Ikoli. She works with GTHS Moliko Boya. Let me read what she wrote about the fallen mayor of Boya. She writes, many knew you only when you were at the helm, but don't know how you started. You were a man with greater ambitions who will always make a difference and remarkable changes wherever you found yourself. You fought a good fight, unfortunately didn't finish the race, but you will be remembered for what you have done. We cheer you up as a weary traveler. Good night, the hero of our times. Okay, these are some of the many homages that are being paid to the fallen mayor of Boya. Now, you heard what he just said. Can we not see Mayor Ekema from a different light, as somebody who was a patriot who wanted to see Cameroon stay the way it is?
Yeah, that was my point. That's my point I'm having here. Because I felt somehow when I was reading through social media, and many people, majority talking against him. Because since he started, or since this crisis started, I've been studying him and all his activities. And then I say he was demonstrating some kind of, when he was being accused of, he was using juju in order to fight the separatists. He said that what the juju that he is using is patriotism, that he is using to fight. And then it's just the love that he was having for the country that he was putting into place. So I'm looking at him in a very different angle. He's just somebody that has so much desire for what he was doing. He has so much passion for what he was doing. He never believed that he would ever be there. And when he found himself there, he wanted to prove to everybody that I'm different. And that was why he was behaving the way he was behaving. And then looking at him critically, the only thing that he was doing that was not, to me, correct was breaking the shop open in Boya. But for the ceiling and then doing some kind of gesture by giving petrol to the taxi driver to go, those are positive things that we can appreciate him for. We will not just condemn him for, because the Bible says we should not judge. And then looking critically, I don't believe that there is kind of judgment that we can really hold on to. People make mistakes. People are not perfect. Ekema Patrick was there to identify, to show himself. And then I'm saying that there is something he left for us to copy, and that is courage. That is determination, and that is patriotism for your own country, love for your own country. That we have to also remember him for the fight that he stood, that the only mayor in the whole Anglophone regions that remained in his municipality, no matter what, that we have to look up to. Many of them are in Yaoundé, some are in Douala, some are in Bawusa, and then he alone, he stand and said, I'm going to fight. That means that he was representing the people. So I'm saying that I'm looking at him in a very different angle, not just looking at the things that he was doing, because even whosoever, in which kind of position, there are people that have to criticize you. But I'm saying the criticism given to him is more than the criticism that he deserved. And then we should look at him as somebody that he was not fighting for those shops to be open for him to buy something. He was fighting for those shops to be open for the people of Boya. He was fighting for taxi to move around, not carrying him. He was fighting for taxi to move around, to carry the people of Boya. Those he is represented. He representing them. So we say he stood for his people as a leader, and he has shown to all as a leader, it's a legacy to everybody, that if you are leading, you should stand in front You should not be the kind of person that you sit in Yaoundé, you sit abroad and you are giving instruction. You should come there, be there. If you are leading, you are going to the market, let's go together. If you are, we say we are on strike, we should go on strike and our leader be in front. He has shown example to us, a Cameroonian, and then we should not just look at all that he has done, like maybe disobeying, because I look at him being disobeying and ask the senior divisional officer to shut up. I'm saying that he was the divisional officer, not the senior divisional officer. He was acting on instruction, because since then we have not seen any sanction given unto him. He has many problems with the CPDM elite, up to the point that maybe he was accusing them and insulting them that they are on EZA to Yaoundé, and then nobody has ever come back to say, I have to, or the CPDM party say, I have to sanction you, meaning he was acting on instruction.
Okay, he was acting on instructions. He says that, okay, it's true that many people think that the mayor was not very good, but he finds a lot of positive attributes on Mayor Ikema Patrick Esunge, who fought in Boya, stood for Boya, and said he was ready for anything for the people of his municipality.
The question we need to ask is if he really fought for Boya.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be clear, most of the politicians in these two regions are failures.
Okay.
They are doing politics of self-interest. All the gesticulating, all the movement, all the talking is to get one or two things. They are looking for what they can get. It's not the interest of the people that is in their hearts. So if he was fighting for Boya, Mr. Sule said it that, in fact, he wanted to be the delegate or the government delegate of Limbe, of the council, city council of Limbe. Maybe that was surely what he might have been looking for. There is no politician who hasn't got an interest. They have things they are targeting, and that keeps motivating them to do whatever they are doing. It's not the interest of the common man.
Yes, every politician has something that targets him, but at least he targeted his from within his municipality, even in difficult times.
He was trying to write his name, to have a good name and a good face before the powers that be in Yaoundé.
Mm-hmm.
If you are an elite or you are a leader of a community and the people are crying every day, come on, you could report to the powers, to your hierarchy, that this condition on ground is a difficult one. Let us see what we can do so that peace can come. They never even called for dialogue. But when somehow the president came over and declared major national dialogue, all of them started dancing. So you could see that they were not there for the people. They were there for themselves. Because if I am a mayor, that is the people of that community, they have trusted you to be their leader. Mm-hmm. And you have to be there for them. They cannot be crying and you are doing nothing about it. Because people, the truth is that what was happening in Boya, why were the people respecting Ghost Town? Because the people were not happy with the way things have been going, and some people kind of took over and began to give instructions, and the people were obeying the instructions. So somehow it looked like he was in a battle with the people who have given him trust to be their leader and to lead them towards development. So how can you fight with your own people? It becomes a very difficult thing and something that is not advisable. So I think when the people have trusted you and they have voted you, be there for them. When they are going through challenges, make sure you can extend a helping hand to them. If they are going through some issues that need your concern, be concerned about them. Channel the right information to your hierarchy so that they can also initiate the right actions on ground so that things can be better for your people when you have your people's interests at heart. Okay. Which was what I didn't see in the life of Mr. Ikema Patrick.
You are laughing. Why?
Yes, because when I listen to us, we seem to. There is a mission of a person and a personality.
Yeah.
And when you are acting in lieu of a personality, especially whose mission is that you should act within a certain legal framework, Ikema as any mayor who was in that position, who was staying at the base, would definitely have to answer to the authorities to whom he is receiving salary and the rest that you are supposed to protect. I'm not sure we should be sitting here and advocating that the mayor would have sided with the Amber boys.
Not taking side.
But let me say something here that probably we might have lose sight of. Remember when this crisis started, when it was not yet armed conflict level, when the lawyers were refused to hold their meetings at the level of the court, Mbela came and opened the council hall, and those lawyers held their meeting there. At that time, they were still against the status quo, because at that time, that's when this crisis just started, and it had not reached the level of armed struggle. It was the point where because when you even look at, you go to Boya now and you see that any empty space is being occupied now with some building, to a point where even some of the people whose plots were having access to the road, and you have come now and put stores. There's nobody who probably was deprived of that type of passage will be happy with an authority that comes and does a thing like that. That is actually the reason why the general perception about the mayor was that he was attributing certain what they call the fallout of the council to some of his friends at the detriment probably of others. Because as we are talking presently now, if you go to Boya, for those who know Boya at Bongo Square, you will discover that there was a shop in front of a class quarter building. They has come now and is building now in front of where there are shops behind. I'm not sure these people behind will ever be happy to say anything positive about him. The same thing, you go, somebody who's, when they were destroying houses along the road, the person has not built. Now he has come now, that person is gathering money to build, but all of the passage now, access to the road now, has been occupied now with the shops. And these are all the people who are not happy. And if till tomorrow, nobody will ever say anything positive. But we should come to say that these powers of the mayor that we are seeing now, when decentralization, or whether they call it federalism, will come, we will now see the reaction of a mayor who is accountable, who is responsible for his people, where a population can actually come out and challenge you officially and even depose you. But up till now, because when you see even a mayor at the end of, after 5 years, disagree with his own councillors, I think again that is another element that we have not seen, because within the same mandate, 2 assistant mayors have been demoted. You can tell you the level of the power of
not only two assistant mayors, but some councillors. Of
course. So you see, and all of these are, and if you see again, it tells you the difference between his administration and the previous administration, because he was the first deputy mayor of the previous administration. And I remember I sat through some of the council sessions, and the councillors were even hesitant. Talk less of the mayor. When some other people were raising the issue that where is the assistant mayor? Why are you not why are we not passing the motion? Then he says, okay, pass the motion. Belapke says, pass the motion, but you will vote for it and all of that. But you see the way he took his own decision now when some of his own disagreed with some of his assistants, and he was there and there, and it became effective.
Okay, I wanted to point out because...
But who do you blame? Is it the councillors or the mayor? Because if the mayor decides and the councillors do not endorse, I'm not sure it would pull through.
No, but as you say, he was the powerful mayor who could be able to manipulate. I don't want to use the manipulation, but
what I want to say is that
of his mayors overthrow him.
He wasn't wise. If we say his personality and the functions of a mayor, that we are kind of confusing between the personality and the functions of the mayor, I want to say that he was not the only mayor in these 2 regions. There are other mayors of different places that were even in a very serious battle. But
your brother, Boya,
you see very well,
Boya is a target of Amazonia.
No, not actually. There are other places that are hot, that are even hotter than Boya.
Batibo was hotter than Boya. Boya has always been even very cool.
Because of Ekema.
You see, not actually because of Ekema. I'm trying to say that he actually did not act wisely. He exposed himself and created so many enemies for himself.
Okay, this one says authorities should learn that life is a gift of service to humanity. You do not give your name. This one says it said that the goodness of a man comes after his death. This doesn't. Okay, Sir Chief is writing from Ebolova. Good evening to you, Sir Chief. Hello, Leo. It's really a pity that people celebrate the death of Ekema. I doubt if his death will grant independence to the separatists. Ekema achieved much. One of them, he was strongly against school boycott. KUM Elvis is writing from womb. Patrick, may your soul...
You are dodging somebody.
No. May your soul rest in peace, please. I'm not dodging. If I don't read, I will not read. Good evening to you all in the studio. Where is the minister? He was killed by... no, you are accusing someone. Ngonga Dennis from Kumba. He says a minister killed somebody. We can't take responsibility for that because we don't have the proofs. Greetings to you all in the studio. Excesses is never good. We should learn to do things with some moderation. This is Chief writing from Bamenda. We don't know which chief is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you all in the studio. This is Balemba Tani watching from Kumba. People are not supposed to be jubilating for the death of any, but if so, it means there is something about the behavior of the victim. Okay, thank you. You say he should rest in peace. Good evening, Mr. KUM, and all in the house. The death of Ekema Patrick is no news. We are all important. He was, okay, he was a mayor like any other person. Okay. Yvette May is writing from Kumba. Good evening to you, Yvette. I'm sorry for the death of Mr. Ekema. God knows why. I'm La Quintini in Kumba. Stop your calls. We will take no call from you. This one says, sins forgiven are not sons, please, okay? Mayor Ekema was a human being created in God's image and likeness. Thus, we should not judge him, as judgment is the exclusive right of God. Some of us have done worse things in secret, but God, in his infinite mercy, forgives those who sincerely ask for forgiveness by confessing their sins. Mayor Ekema may just be the good thief whose sins were forgiven on the cross, and he went to heaven with Christ on the last day. 40 is writing from Bamenda. Shalom to you all in the studio. Thank you very much, 40. This one says, it is a heart attack to Boya municipality's population and a celebration to the Amber fighters. I'm Bobgar Clinton writing from Yaoundé. Stop the calls. We would not take your call. We can only take your message. Keep them coming. Good evening, sir. I'm Kwefi from Bamenda. The reward of those who love God is long life, and the reverse is true for those who do not love God. Okay, you say, let the soul of the mayor rest in peace. I think Ekema Patrick was a great man because he tried to chase ghosts away from Boya, but to my greatest surprise, ghosts did not leave. This is Solomon from Boya. Let your soul rest in peace in it, okay? Good evening to you at the studio, the viewers. Only thing I have to say is the rate at which girls were raped in Boya will now reduce, okay? Okay. Because since bikes will start walking again, some of his decisions were just so hard on the people. Our Delphine is writing from Kumba. We are going to get a portrait that was done, a report on the mayor of Boya by Metuge Ngalami Stanley.
The death of Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge on Sunday 27th October 2019 has left many of his acquaintances and enemies alike in shock. The man who took over the municipality of Boya in 2013 after the municipal and legislative elections of that year first acted as first deputy mayor under Mbelamoki Charles, whom he succeeded later on. His installation met stiff resistance from some councillors and top CPD militants in and out of Boya. His first year into office brought him into the pinnacle of state affairs as he played host to President Paul Biya in his municipality during activities marking the 50th anniversary of Cameroon's reunification in 2014. Then came the socio-political crisis in the northwest and southwest regions, the crisis which Mayor Ekema fought till his last breath, while other towns in the southwest region were observing the traditional Monday ghost town. The man referred to as the Great Elephant compelled business operators in Boya to open their shops or face the heavy arm of the law. He went ahead to buy taxis as a means of facilitating the movement of denizens in the municipality on Mondays. From academics, political and social scandals, Mayor Ekema will always find a way to stand no matter the situation, earning him a no-nonsense reputation. As mayor of Boya, a city he named the City of Excellence, Ekema Patrick Esunge fell out with his fourth deputy mayor, Dr. Comfort Ojongpot, his first deputy mayor, Motombi Mbome Emmanuel, honorable councillors and reputed elites of Boya. Born on the 26th of September 1976 to Mr. Esunge John of Smodropo and Mrs. Julie Mojoko Esunge of Moli Gbeya, he attended his primary, secondary and tertiary education in Boya. In 2013, he defended and obtained a master's degree in history in the University of Boya, a school he once served as faculty officer, administrative assistant and clerk. He was conferred the title Nyamuto Patolo by the Council of Traditional Rulers from the South region of Cameroon, amongst others. The man, who was also a member of the Christian Men Fellowship movement of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, Moliko congregation, leaves behind a wife, 5 children, and the world to mourn him.
Okay, that was the person, Ekema Patrick Esunge, fallen mayor of the Boya Council, who is today celebrated by others and then dismissed by others. Now, we know that since he took office, we've seen municipal councillors being removed and then assistant mayors who have been replaced, to say that Mayor Ekema was a no-nonsense man who wanted things to be done rightly.
He was an authoritarian dictator of the highest order. Because you cannot, first of all, he has no local standing to dismiss a mayor, even not because of the support he's getting from government. He has no local standing to dismiss him because we're all elected on the same platform. Yeah, they all voted on the same platform.
These were done during council session.
It has never ever happened. It's a dictated council station. Mr. Mofo just said here that he is being feared by his councillors. That way there's a lot of controversy surrounding even within his own council. You can see what he did to Motombi, what he did to Madame Ojong and the rest. Because they were impediment towards his way of ruling. They were challenging him. So the best thing was to kick them out. And that was against even municipal law. But because he has some godfathers backing him, administratively, he got it free. He went through his own way. So what I'm saying here is this, you see, Mr. KUM, if you are an administrator, you leave a legacy for yourself. You build, you do something that people will benefit for it. This generation and this future generation will come and say, who did this? This man did it. This man did it. Don't just be a dictator and you want your words to be law, your wishes the command of the people. I mean, it doesn't work in contemporary democracy. Do something for people to see. Let people feel it. Let people touch it. People know at least this man has rendered us a service that we will not forget. Look at that Boya Park. Belamoki has rendered a legacy for himself. Generation, they will come and see that Boya Park and say, who did it? It's Belamoki who did it. So you have to, it is not a matter of you being a brute or a controversial fellow. No. Do deliver the goods so that tomorrow people, now the federalism is coming. If you don't deliver the goods, you cannot be re-elected. You cannot be re-elected. So you have to do your best, leave a legacy for yourself, so that tomorrow if they want to send you back as mayor, you know he's qualified. He has done something for Buea. Buea has felt it. But now, to the best of my knowledge, I'm not a Buea man, but I don't think I have seen anything feasible that you can touch, you can feel that that guy has done for Buea people. I say you will tell me here.
I'm sure the people of Buana Bojoke will tell you that he constructed a multi-purpose hall there. The people of Wotutu will tell you that a warehouse was constructed there by this mayor, and a host of other things you know very little about. My friend Kingsley, who writing from Limbe, good evening to all viewers and you in the studio. The Lord Mayor Ikema was a good man to he who believed so. Only God can judge him, please. We should stay calm and face our own sorrows of life. Yes, he made mistakes like us all. I am Kingsley Ade, writing from Limbe. Mayor Ikema fought so much against ghost towns, and he explains severally that this he did in favor of the people of the municipality.
Yeah, to me, I was in support of it. Because I started explaining it here that he was doing all that for his people. And then because he was not risking your life, knowing where how the Anglophone region is, and then you go inside, and then on ghost town that they say nobody should be out, and then you decided to go out just for your people. That is what I say he fought so much for, and that is one of those things that he left for us to remember him for, that he stood as the only person to go out on Monday and then move around with people and say this thing has to stop. And then I'm saying that he fought for the people. So he was not doing that for himself. He was not doing that to open the store to buy something. He was not doing that for the people to move around so that he would gain anything. He was doing that just for his people. And then the only thing that I got from that is there for his attitude was just that he was not doing it administratively, maybe respecting some kind of rules and even considering others that he was working with. That was the only thing that I looked through his life and his struggle, that it was not okay. And then it is a lesson for us to learn from it, not for him again, because he cannot learn from it again. And I'm saying that it is an opportunity for us to talk about him, because if we can take time to examine each and every one's lives as we have examined, we are here looking through his own life, many things will be put into consideration. He fought a good fight for the good stand. I will congratulate him for that, because first we discovered that he did not succeed 100%, but I can say he went up to 50%, because there were some Mondays that vehicles were moving, some Mondays that some stores were being opened, and then if all these things were being done, it was for his people. And then I say he did it. And then going also, we say, why was the people crying? Because they say, why was the people crying? The people were not crying because the question came here like that why was the people crying? The people were not crying because Ekema was moving around and locking or sealing a shop. The people were not crying because he was maybe asking taxis to move around. The people were crying because the Ambazonia fighter were maybe putting them in maybe house arrest on Monday. And then there are some days that will go 14 days ghost town, that is house arrest. And then Ekemapatri said, no, my people cannot be suffering like this. No, it has to stop. So the people were crying because of the Amazonia struggle decisions. Why were they respecting ghost town? Ekemapatri came out also because of what? Because he is the Lord Mayor of that city, of that municipality. And then other people that are not even having any authority in his land will come and give orders, and the people will respect the order. Him that is there as the landlord will give order and nobody will respect. That is why he came up and he fought it. And then just because he was not moving with guns, and then the people were looking at it. Why the ghost town, his fight for ghost town was not 100%, because the people were not looking. They were looking at it this way. Ekema is moving without guns. Those guys are moving with guns. Those guys' punishment is too tedious that Ekema. Those are the things that they were afraid to go up. If it was the preaching, And that is why he said that he did it very well. And then he gave the preaching for good moral standard, for people to respect, for people to be patriotic in Cameroon. And then I say congratulations for that part.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a balanced observation. Some people think it was not good, and then he says it was very perfect. He did everything in the name of his people. But some observers think that many people became so jealous of Mayor Kema Patrick Esunge when he received the President of the Republic in Boya, and then seemingly had connections with the presidency. Some people saw that from a very, very bad angle.
Okay, before I come to that, I want to say that most often we are not sincere when we are talking over a corpse.
Okay.
That is what happens most often. If you look at the eulogies that come when somebody is dead, people always say good things about the person. He was a nice man, even if he was a thief. Yeah, we fear to say the truth over a corpse. We always want to twist things so that we can make the person feel like, we can make people feel like the person is going to paradise, even if the person was a wicked man or a bad man. And that's because we don't speak the truth. I have just seen one occasion where somebody died and somebody was given some time to talk, and he came and said, this man who is dead was a very wicked man. And when he made that kind of statement, everybody there was upset. The people wanted to even beat him for speaking like that. So I think most people feel pity, a lot of pity for the dead, that they don't want to say the truth about the person when he was alive. Coming back to the aspect of jealousy, it can happen, especially people from his milieu, people from his party, shaking hands with the president, that is the head of the CPTM party, meaning that he's directly in touch with the strongest person.
He had at least a 30-minute discussion with the president.
Meaning that he can always be able to get to the president because the first contact had been established in that tete-a-tete talk with the president. So he could arouse jealousy from from those of his party. It is but normal that such things can happen, and that's why I don't know what people, because there are a lot of stories that were circulating, like when he was attacked here in Douala, he said that those who are after him are not even the Amazonian fighters.
They're the civilian barons. But we've said that already, that he has a lot of issues.
So why? Because he must have understood that the barons are jealous of what the privileges he's enjoying. So it's but normal that jealousy should have been one of the things that he was facing.
Okay, he was facing jealousy. You are a Boyaman, you're loving. George Mr. Mofo, what is the legacy that, according to you, Mayor Kema is living?
Yes, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this program would have come to an end if we did say something regarding what we want to call legacy. Legacy now probably as an unfinished task. You know, up till today, the Boya Central Market is still uncompleted. Unfortunately, keeping the controversies surrounding that contract with the people that they were talking of a bill, operate and transfer, that is when we started getting the word scamming in Boya very, very strong. But I think if there is one thing that till tomorrow we will still be writing, is that the 6 years or 5+ years that Kema Patrick spent in Boya has been very, very eventful. When I see you title enigmatic, it means that it is a very controversial individual that you cannot predict which direction he will get out from bed and what action he will take or the next move. I think KUM, all said and done, when this man in his heydays, before this armed struggle reached wherever it is now, he used to organize one of the best intercommunal competition in terms of sports. During the long holidays, that tournament was really a tournament that was animating all those suburban. In fact, he had already foresaw that if it was the same dispensation that boy was supposed to be one day become a government delegation, a city council, he had already traced some sort of how the geographical distribution of those.
There was a cup in the Bojongo court area.
That's right. Munya court area, and the Bonavada court area.
And later on, there was a super cup.
A super cup. So you see, and from that perspective, the other mayors, taking into consideration the Tico mayor, also copied from that example. And then secondly, before now, we did not know the power of media where they will bring these billboards and place in strategic position in the town. This is one of the things that came along too with, even though it brought along to some personality cult issue where we could have an individual start replacing now. We used to see that more with, I have nothing against the Pentecostal pastors, but he had to copy even some of those, their style, where you could actually see him now show his personality on billboards as the really oligarch in charge and all of that. So you could see somebody who loved power and he was actually executing power, whereby what he once passed in his council session, it is passed and he executed them to its letter, right to its finality. So he was a no-nonsense mayor in terms of his vision that he had, and he was ready to crush anybody along his path. So, and that you could not take it away from Ekema.
That's the legacy he lives back?
Positive, yes.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Let me go back to jealousy. You see, when President Biya came to Biya for the 50th anniversary, and Mayor Ekema, that was when he came into spotlight, because he gave a wonderful, outstanding, and remarkable speech, which attracted the attention of the president to him, to the extent that the president even accorded him 30 minutes audience.
Yeah.
You understand? Myself, when I heard that speech, I said, God, who wrote this speech for this man? He wrote it himself? I said, congratulations to Mayor Ekema. You see, but from that time that he was so close to the president, he started developing wings. As for legacy, what I know about legacy is that you have left something for generation yet unborn to come and see. You have done something that generation will come and touch and feel and say, this man did it. Yeah. Like Belamoki built the council hall, the municipal council office in Boya, mayor's office in Boya. He built the My 17 park there. You see, those are legacy he left for himself that tomorrow he's very proud to talk anywhere. So if you are telling me that, Mr. Mofo, I don't know why you are just... He
has brought back the Great Market. He has brought the Great Market that was dead. So that is his own legacy. At least we have a daily Great Market now in Boya.
So, Mr. Mofo, whether is it because you are based in Boya, that's why you are rambling like this. Well, all is good. All what I would say is that, he has lived his life. He has done what he's supposed to do. But again, they say the voices of the people are the voices of God. If people are pouring venom on him, making insult, making derogatory remarks, I don't know how God is going to receive him tomorrow.
Okay. What legacy do you think the mayor is keeping? A legacy of a warrior that inspires other young persons to also want to
be a warrior. Yeah, that is what I said. I say there is no concrete things. I'm not from Boya. That I can say this is a concrete thing that he put that people will remind him. But I started here by saying that he left something that I myself have copied. That is patriotism.
You cannot say you don't know what the mayor. You see the chapel in front of the mortuary at the regional hospital.
Regional hospital.
Yeah, I'm talking concrete.
And other things.
That I said the Great Market now, which is daily. That is his creation.
That is what I say. To me, I don't say things I don't know. That is what I'm here. I came, I don't have any idea of, I have to judge Kemapatu, or I have to say Kemapatu is like this or it's like that. But the issue is, I came is, I have seen a Kemapatu just as from this Anglophone crisis from 2016. And then I'm saying that the legacy that I learned from him is the patriotic nature of him. The way he was, the love he demonstrated. When Paul wrote a letter to the Philippians, he talked about some were preaching the gospel for selfish interest. But finally, the gospel was being preached. If Kemapatu was showing himself, maybe for selfish reason, but I copied that. The love for my country is more better. I also learned to him that determination for what you went you, because we are talking about entrepreneurship now in this modern world, that those are the domain that we can have something there, and those entrepreneurship is pursue your passion. And then if you are going in for your passion, you should go in with all the courage. No obstacle should stand on your way. And then if you stand, struggle by all possible means, don't give up, but take up the obstacle. So that is what I will say. That is why he left, and many people will copy from it, that was somebody that said no. That was the only person that was going out on the good standing. That was the only person that was doing things, his activities on that day.
Okay, yeah, legacy for the late mayor, Patrick Esunge.
I want to just comment on what my brother said before I come to that.
Okay.
He said Mayor Ekema used to go out without guns. That made me to laugh here, because I'm sure I used to watch videos, social media. Of course, we cannot say that they were doctored with him surrounded by military men, well armed. That's how he used to move around. So he never used to move without guns, and I'm sure he himself had a gun. We had guns. You see, so what I want to say, legacy, I may not be able to pinpoint anything, but I think from the life of everybody on earth, there are lessons to learn from. You may not live long to commit all the errors and learn from your errors, but watching the life of somebody who has made errors is also interesting. You know, it is said that a life spent making errors is more interesting than a life spent doing nothing. From one person you learn what to do, from another person you learn what not to do. I think from Kema Patrick, I have learned that when people position you somewhere, try to seek their interests. Yeah. Be there for them. Feel the pains they are going through. Be able to contribute towards the restoration of peace, but without aggravating the conditions and the situation of the people. And one thing I've learned is that, like I said before, anything that has a beginning has an end. Yeah. Man is not God. The breath that you have today has been given to you by God. And any moment, that breath can leave you. So the most important thing is, which account will you give God the last day when you meet him? That's the most important thing, because people think that everything ends here. That's the problem with so many people. But if you read the Bible, you understand, because the Bible is a book of truth, you understand that there is life after this life. And of course, you have to give an account of every action, every statement, and everything you did in this world. You will certainly give an account to God. So when we are given leadership positions, we should not think that we are demigods. We should serve in all accountability and with all honesty, to know that one day the judge of all judges, or the judge of all the earth, will judge us.
Okay, we are glad to get that from you. We have come to the end of the program. We want to thank you, Pastor Chris Vuwesi, who is who is a man of God and a political analyst. We are glad you came.
Thank you.
And to you, Judge, Mr. Mufo, thank you.
Yes, just to end with this quote, which will permit: recruiting others to hate those you don't like is witchcraft.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure being on this program. I think we have exhausted the exhaustibles, and we hope that my media prime will keep on informing, sensitizing, educating and informing people.
we are going to continue in that. We equally want to say thank you for coming.
All right, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Just to end, I want to add to what Pastor just said, that we are all strangers here on earth. So wherever we are, what we have to put in should be for the kingdom of God and not here on earth, because whatsoever we are putting here will never help us.
And we wish that the next mayor of Boya should be a nice man, should be gentle, and it should be a composed person who wants the good of the people.
Okay, we end with this this radio announcement from the Senior Division Officer for FACO, which reads, kindly cause this information below to broadcast repeatedly over your respective radio network programs. This is the Senior Divisional Officer for FACO, following the death of the Mayor of Boya Council, hereby invites the following personalities to take part in an important working session he will preside over in his office on Tuesday, the 29th of October 2019, as from 10:30 a.m. Prompt, they are the Divisional Officer for Boya, all Deputy Mayors Boya Council, the Secretary General Boya Council, the Municipal Treasurer Boya Council. Their personal presence and on time is imperative. Signed, a Senior Divisional Officer for FACO Division. Okay, that is Emmanuel Ngamba Lodu. We want to thank the production team that produced this program, Desmond, Eli, and Jerry, and Corinne. We equally want to say special greetings to you, Tambe Bryant, who is supervising our work out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.